Thank you so much for the opportunity to share with you the evolution of automated valuation models, AVMs, in the experience of the United States. As the availability of information and the technology to process big data sets have improved, so has the quality of AVMs. More accurate AVMs have advanced the use of AVMs in home valuation in the United States and in other nations. Property valuation is one of the 4 pillars of home mortgage lending. Traditional underwriting of home mortgage loans focuses on the expected likelihood that the borrower can afford to make the monthly mortgage payments and has a financial interest in doing so. This can be summarized in the following characteristics: collateral, credit, capacity, and cash. Collateral value in excess of the loan amount measures the equity position of the borrower. The greater the equity, then the lower the risk to the lender. Credit history provides information on the past ability of a borrower to successfully meet their debt obligations. Capacity, represented by the monthly payment to income ratio, indicates how much of the regular flow of monthly income goes to the mortgage payment, or the amount of income left for all other expenses for the borrower after making the mortgage payment. Cash reserves indicates the amount of liquid financial assets the borrower has if needed to make the monthly payment or make necessary repairs to the home. Focusing on these 4 pillars of underwriting, about 20% to 25% of loan application denials are based on insufficient collateral to support the loan principal. The pie chart on the left shows the distribution of denial reasons for home purchase loan applications in the United States. The pie chart on the right shows the distribution of denial reasons for refinance loans. Thus, collateral value and an accurate measurement of value is clearly critical for successful lending outcomes. For many years, and still today, the foundation for determining collateral value has been the appraisal report submitted by an impartial, licensed appraiser. Often, it may take years of training and experience before becoming a licensed appraiser. In the United States, the Appraiser Qualifications Board has established the minimum requirements for the certified appraiser, the licensed appraiser, and the trainee classifications. All states require appraisers to be state licensed or certified in order to provide appraisals to federally regulated lenders. To become licensed or certified, the trainee must pass an examination that is administered by their state's appraisal board. If mortgage loan volume varies a lot from one year to the next, then there may be occasional bottlenecks in the loan origination pipeline because of the inability of appraisers to keep up with the demand for appraisals. Because of the time it takes to train appraisers, the number of appraisers generally will not vary as much as loan volume. Refinance is an important part of the loan origination market in the United States and is particularly sensitive to the level of interest rates. With the drop in mortgage rates to a record low in 2020, the volume of refinance has boomed. The number of refinance loans made doubled from 2019 to 2020 and was the largest number of refinance loans originated since 2003. In the chart, the number of refinance loans is shown by the upper or dark blue portion of each bar. The number of home purchase loans is shown by the lower or light blue portion of each bar. Adding in home purchase loans, looking at home purchase and refinance combined, which is the total height of each bar, we see that the number of home loans made easily doubled between 2018 and 2020. And in 2020, it's the largest number of loans made since 2005. 2020 is the biggest origination year in 15 years. But in contrast, the number of appraisers, of licensed appraisers, does not fluctuate much on a year-to-year basis. And appraiser shortages have been cited by lenders, especially in rural areas. Rising education requirements, stagnant compensation, and retirement of older appraisers have contributed to a less flexible supply and occasional shortage in some areas. Large swings in origination volume also highlight the need for an alternative valuation method. AVMs provide an alternative. AVMs are an important tool that complements traditional appraisal to provide a home property valuation. The use of AVM technology can expand as needed to meet the demand for valuations when an appraisal is not necessarily required. There are different types of AVMs available in the United States. They are similar in that they require large amounts of detailed information on homes over time and large computer processing. As technology has advanced and big data became more accessible, the quality and applicability of AVM valuations have improved. The most common type of AVM are hedonic models. These models use the hedonic content of a property. In other words, the detailed attributes that the property has, such as living space, lot size, number of rooms, construction material, or location, to generate a regression-based estimate of value. The more detailed the information and the larger number of attributes used for the model, the more accurate the valuation will generally be. Another AVM type is the appraisal emulation model, which uses statistical techniques, machine learning, and data for comparable properties to mimic what an appraiser does. A third type of AVM are index models, which generally use repeat transaction indexes to estimate current market values. Finally, an AVM can use two or more of these approaches for a blended model, a model that mixes together two or more different valuation types. The ability of AVM models to serve as an alternative valuation method has depended on coverage and accuracy. Coverage refers to the number or amount of properties that an AVM can estimate a value with high confidence. Accuracy refers to how close the estimate is to the true market value. Ideally, the best AVMs would estimate a value for a very large percentage of properties that was also very close to the true value. As computing power and ability to access and use big data has increased, so too has the coverage and accuracy of AVMs in the United States. One measure of coverage is the percentage of properties that an AVM will return a value. Hit rate. That is shown by the blue curve in the chart. One measure of accuracy is the percent of estimated values that are within 10% of the true value. That is the percent predicted error within 10%, denoted PPE 10. That is shown by the orange line in the chart. The Mortgage Bankers Association has found that over the last decade, the coverage and accuracy of AVMs have significantly improved in the United States, as shown in this chart. The availability of highly accurate AVMs that cover a very large segment of the property market has been an important development that has allowed lenders to expand originations in recent years with very few delays attributable to appraisal order backlog or appraiser unavailability. As the United States Department of Treasury has observed, and I quote, advances in financial technology, particularly with regard to automated valuation models, AVMs, has already begun to disintermediate the traditional appraisal process. The digitization of this component of the origination process, facilitated through electronic property records, development of large databases capable of holding millions of individual property records, and improvement of advanced valuation algorithms holds promise to lower cost and expedite closing timelines. Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the two government-sponsored enterprises, GSEs, that serve the secondary mortgage market in the United States, have increasingly used AVM valuation as an alternative to a traditional appraisal. Their appraisal waiver activity, for which they substitute an AVM valuation for an appraisal, has grown significantly over the last 2 years. The most extensive use has been with a no cash out refinance, a refinance loan where the borrower does not increase their loan amount. In those cases where the GSE already owns the previous loan and the borrower is lowering their interest rate by refinancing, the no cash out refinance loan lowers the credit risk for the GSE. The American Enterprise Institute has estimated that in recent months, about 2/3 of no cash out refinance loans bought by the GSEs had appraisal waivers. In other words, AVM to check the property valuation. This is shown in the upper curve in the chart. Appraisal waivers and use of AVMs as alternative has also risen for cash out refinance and home purchase loans that were bought by the GSEs. Since the start of the pandemic, about 1 in 4 cash out refinance and 1 in 10 home purchase loans had an appraisal waiver. Finance is shown in the middle curve and home purchase is shown in the lower curve in this chart. Appraisal waivers are also more common with lower loan-to-value loans, whether for home purchase or for refinance. Low loan-to-value loans have less credit risk because the homeowner holds a large amount of home equity. The GSEs require home purchase loans with a loan-to-value above 80% to always have an appraisal. Well, AVMs have many benefits, such as lower cost, independence from manipulation, to scale up when needed. They are only as good as the data and statistical models that they rely upon. And the confidence band around an estimate may be too large for low down payment loans, for unique properties, and in areas where there is limited access to property data. For these reasons, there remains a great need for appraisers. AVMs have advanced significantly in coverage and accuracy in recent years and have been embraced by the GSEs for their lower risk loan purchases. AVMs are an important complement to the appraisal and provide the ability for the United States primary mortgage market to expand as needed to meet refinance demands without delays attributable to appraisal backlogs or appraiser unavailability. AVMs are an important part of financial technology in the United States. Thank you for inviting me to your conference. I offer my best wishes for a successful conference and success in the new year.